Bonjour, ik het namens het in de go. Als je shindo deb, best go in de midden. Minoge Wiikwemkoong Donji. De zagen Shino zijn die Brian Peltier. Ja, man pindao, man inji ja Wiikwemkoong, ik doe een agenda. Minoge in de mimjan dan man de Anishinaabek Hadzuin. So I introduced myself, my spirit name, Egetnamset, which means one that is determined. My clan, I introduced my clan as the Deer Clan, Oashkeshi. And I introduced myself, Beshgunda Mideo. I'm a first degree Midewin. And I'm from Donji, I'm from Wiikwemkoong. My English name is Brian Peltier. And I also said I'm also a band counselor here, and I am also the cultural programmer for Wiikwemkoong Anishinaabemolwin Mimjan, so the Wiikwemkoong Heritage Organization. So I'm going to talk about well, we can go in this. We go about this. The Anishinaabemolwin. So I say that my first language was my Anishinaabemolwin language, which consists of the three dialects, you would say, the three fires, and that's Odewa, Ojibwe, and Wodoadmi. So when I speak, you'll probably hear all three. So I've spoken the language since birth. It was my first language, and I picked up English as a second language. I learned the language passed down from my parents, my grandparents, and everyone that was around me. So I'm going to talk about myself. I just took this red road on the Anishinaabek now probably over 10 years now. For me, it opened up my spirit. You would say. When I first entered that lodge, it was there when I heard the creation story for the first time. And as they were going in that, talking about the descent, Anishinaabe, when he was Lord, the elders said there, then he looked at me, so he said to me, as he was Lord down, Jibashka, he says, what does that word mean? And he looked right at me. I said, no, one there, what do you hear in that word? Take your time, think about it. And it was then and there I realized, I hear that word Gashka. And I said, and he says, Miwe, that's it. Because before that, I only thought my language was just a form of communication. And it was there that it opened up, and I realized that there's a lot more to it. So when he said Jibashka, people probably say, oh, passing through. Yes, but when you pass through, you stop. That's where you hear that word, Gashka, Jibashka. You're stopping while you're passing through. And in that instant, that creation story, that's where he got his teachings. And that's when I realized, wow, there's more to our language than just that form of communication. And since then, I started walking this red road, taking it more seriously. But nung gusto ko nito batad, pigi matkamugak. For the longest time, people would always reference that as the creation story. How do you say creation story in the language? And I listened to many of my elders, and one elder said, "Mi pigi matkamugak." And I thought about it. What did he mean by that? And I realized right away when things began to happen. Much now we go. What about Tadmand? Pigi matkamugak. The creation story, as told to me from this area. Because there's other variations of the creation story, and they're all correct. Just like how I pronounce words, it's correct how I say it. If they say it in another community, it's correct. Just their creation story will be a little bit different than mine, but they're all the same. And that's what I tell people. Yes, you may say it somewhere different in Minnesota or in Quebec, but generally it's the same message you get at the end. We'd say the same thing we talk about in the language. I will speak in the language about it first and then translate it to the best I can, to the closeness to an English language as I can. I would say, George, Jibo, evi matkamulak. Keep kadeo, kaneo, mekadeo. Minoge keep bazante. Bazante. We must gades no, we non da gades no gego. Me te just go kadeo. Kinongocha. We must see. So right now I'm talking about the darkness. Before creation started, it was dead silence. Darkness, just black everywhere. No movement, no sound, no feeling. Just eerie silence. Bazante also means there's no movement too. No sound. Me just get all whippy. Me no and then also what I just said there, the creator didn't exist yet. On in the kedok, me whippy jeshibe endum. And by that I mean it was the time also they said the creator stretched out his or her thoughts. Just like in deep sleep. Ba. You'll be hearing that part of the language when I speak. Like ba ka. Niba. Ba ka means wisdom. Ba. Niba means sleep. But it's all in relation. Madan Anishinaabemia. Pigi matkamugak. Mije mat seke Anishinaabemolwin. So what I say there, when the creation started also, our language and our way of thinking begins too. Mandeje Anishinaabemia. Mije pigi matsem gokke. So what I'm basically trying to say in English too, our language is as old as creation. One of the oldest languages in civilization, Anishinaabemolwin, and all the other indigenous languages. Jibo matkamgok, pi kadeo, bekkagi almava, bekka, still. Mawigimnato. Whoa. Gbengo. Kom jigade koyam, bakki gnagade genya, Midewe, we gosson. Oh, just no. So what I said there is when we open our Midewin scrolls to talk about the creation story, in the beginning it's just blank. So it tells you there was nothing but that darkness. Me dish goding. Yahugi Joewat. Gijashabe and them Gijemnato. So what I said there, and something happened. Gijashabe and them Gijemnato. Mawe. Nichko Mawea Gijemnato. Kwe minonin. So what I said here in this creation story is that Gajemnado, the creator, had his first thought, his or her first thought. And I reference Gajemnado as his, her, him, her, he, she. I go back to the both kwe minonin, man and woman. The first thought. Ikwedwe. And we would tebrock. Wouldn't make a dark. So the first question was asked, is there anything out there in the darkness? Nimneweho, Ishwe with P. Ishabe and Dangajenato. Mi demandai un gen duetto on. So the sound, why I rang the sound, is was mimics the first sound of creation, the first thought. And in our language, I said, Jeshabendum, that thought. We call it Jeshagud, to mimic the first thought of the Creator. That's where that word originates from. Now you see how the language is starting to form. Even that word, pigi matkamulak, those essential words, M-A-A-A-D-I, if you're into spelling or if you hear that word, you're going to hear that word all the way through here. Ma'de, movement. Pidishmandagi joe, pigi shaben danga, kushamnato. Nimnega, who joe, but we have P. Nimnogo. So what I'm singing in language, other things happen simultaneously, all at the same time. Ushkentam miwe, imat sek. That first thought, rippling, movement. Mat se. So you hear me say mat kamgak, imat sek, begin. Movement. Midish mino ikidotige in that first thought. Pi isheshabentang kinak kishege. And in that word, nak kishege, ishbin away ne, nanak den man. Mi oi bant sek. Give it on se. Change happen. Knock shik. Knock kijege. Knock ke. As in knock shik. And you hear kishe ge. Kishe ba. It changed from darkness to light. Midash. I paskakne sek, piwe, I žvebok. I paskakne se. Paskakne se. Flickering, first light. Shkode. Shkode. The first fire. Young and the cousin. On the bottom of P. Matcom rock. Yeah, Nika. And Petem rock. He's also a Pshkote. And cousin on in what you got, take one. So I just said there, I'm going to be translating it with the word, the seven fires of creation. Shkintam. The first thought, that first form of energy that we still feel today. You know that because you see waves. You know that the ripples in the sky. You know that by the ripples of the valleys. You know, light does not go in a straight line. But that part comes into the next part of that creation fire, that story. Then that Mirishmano the Watama keep Pascakanesek. Pijesha Ben Dang Mavajano do. He Pascakaneset, Maji Pascakaneset, that Shkute, that first fire king, is also known as your Mavaji Bob spirit. I'm on the Bazantes no Bekauye. Oh, but Majim Gotunda. So you saw that fire, it doesn't remain still. Movement. Paskakenesse. When Magunwe Woshe Gashwebok. Ishmagay to go big bit on wicked with. Gwin Magun Roy. So I just said there, even that word Paskakenesse, it tells you a lot about that first fire. Because how we say stuff today is different than how I say it because of the English influence in our language now. Because now they say flickering. But if I were to tell this in the English language and compare it to saying paskaganese, there's a big difference. So many things happen simultaneously. That's why I have to break it up into parts. With what the mamanda. Remember up there's no time. What there's no there. You want to know which way baksha. You mom is then. Can you go? Which way bak with P. Pish can't send what can you go. Be maji matkam. So when things began, from that first thought, going in, bone, knees going down, like bone. So when we went there, go up, dig she, skintam knee gone in magat, jibo the bottom all. Was good. Skintam up dig. Ich bin ja wo I matsim gak. Ab dig man skintam. You have bish. Nibbe. Water. Just like when you flush a toilet, it goes in that action. Same thing happened. Nibbe. Ne. In our language. Going out that way. Away from me. Ne. To create that life. It's the same when a woman gives birth. Water comes first. Then comes out the life. And where would they go? The temple can make it out. When you just saw, got quite with. So who's one that said that? What's out there in the darkness? Kwe. Woman. Get what the other one. Nish go come away, Gashem the door. Kwe minonin. So he said, the Creator is both man and woman. That's why when I reference the Creator, him, her. Me just small way be sure bakwe. Nibbe, skintum, jibo paskakane sekwe. Me we be, is just shabendum. Migegi bogad na get yeah, oh yeah, nim keeping a she. And some say in that creation story was that first bolt of lightning to ignite that from the Thunderbird. To get that first, and just get to that first fire of creation. Pas kagan se. Ja, chinu yoshkintum eshkat. It was small in the beginning. And it grew. We just bought them out with pas kagan se. In order to create that fire, the four elements came together. Midewin. Fire, water, red lightning, to ignite the water. Earth, paskake, and also kinese, his movement. And then you hear nese, air. All that elements to create that fire began. So there's a big difference when you start saying flickering, and you say paskakanese. That word tells you paskakanese, what is needed to create that. And one thing people forget, color. What was that color, that first fire? Basa, purple. The first flame, paskakanese. He mentioned that about lightning. Paskakanese ook neemt kik. Oskanese ook, wat se. Niet eens man de nekkaan epidemic. Maar eens man de naknigan. Nakjege. Naknigan. Maar die is nou goed. I don't know if you can see that symbol of life. The matsuin. Mimi manon qasya mat suin life. You're going to hear that all the way through because mande shkebat tamam anda ya bi mat kamgok mi jay maji. Maar Anishinaabemolwin kennen we ze doeljamat. Doeljamat. The closest for me to see that in English is also the beginning of our philosophy. Bigi mekdeak wannedes Wiikwemkoong Minoweyweywigaan Lodge. No. That's center. Taking your time to think. Be at peace. Take your time. That is the general trait of being Anishinaabe. It's not to rush. Take your time to think. Think before you react. Be me kwed shwanda is ketang me watch Anishinaabe among the nak. I get chick. So I asked a lot of my elders, how would you say this? How do we say this in the language? They don't give it to me right away. So they, when I answer the other line, they'd say, oh, I'll think about it. And I'll call you right back. Nishke, Anishinaabe. Think. The darkness has taught us that to be at peace, calm. Think about it. Be at rest. Keneben. Mimande. Maar we gaan George watch gonna radan dot. Anishinaabek wijiat. So when I say that, that's how the traits of Anishinaabek. We know a cheat to mimic the Creator. Of course, we are part of the Creator. Zamni naman dagi paskakane se. Paskakane second. You one day, chichakum, your spirit. Wiikwemkoong Minoweyweywigaan Lodge. Matsi, matse. It tells you life, your spirit, part of that. I hate to use that word, but for people to understand that Anishinaabe animacy, first and foremost, spirit. And also to talk about that spirit movement, and then change. Midewin Anishinaabe. Kashinomagaset, Wiikwemkoong. So that tells you what for the Anishinaabe, the Creator showed by his and her actions what creation is all about. And we use that, and I still use that today. My understanding what creation is. Anishinaabe. What is that then? But you have to look into my eyes, my thoughts. Thought, big part of that. Miwe. Things begin to happen. In the way Oshe, the week of Bedona. Mieshemaji, Sostamong with Nishnabemong, I've been scum quick kid with. So when I say that, the beginning of the language and where that word got defined because of the actions of Creator to create life. Miman Anishinaabemolwin, I've been Jabanok. So that's where the language came from the actions of the Creator during the time of creation when it began. Pigi Matsek. So hence that's why we have a verb-based language. All the actions depicting that. We just wondered what tomorrow was good. That fire. It would start to grow. And at that time too, maybe all one way. Past start to happen. Memory. Before, there was no memory, just darkness. Now, because of that first light, it's starting to be a past. Wiikwemkoong. Your brain also Wiikwemkoong, my memory. And what do you hear in that word? Wiikwemkoong. Kwe in our language is woman. Nina is man. The Wiikwemkoong. The Creator taught. We should not God. Oh. It's going to send that fire, that spirit, onto the darkness. Wiikwemkoong. So it's going to send that fire out into the darkness to see if there's anything out there. And then you should ask God, Wiikwemkoong. It flew, took off. It didn't go in a straight line. Like that. Leaving a trail, like a jet plane. Jag blir bort den. Jag bestämde dem in över. Skote. Min bort så dock. So I say that they communicate back and forth. Communication began. But when I say Wiikwemkoong, Wiikwemkoong, niet getok. Wiikwemkoong. Wiikwemkoong. Also in their language. Your tracks. Wiikwemkoong. Memories of the past. So it left that trail behind. As I went to the darkness in Jamaica, out there. So who is that? The woman. To the darkness. Sent the doubt. What ton of the benga and get in pitch of benga out what the Jamaica. I don't know how long. We don't know how long. Could have been 1 day, 2 days, a millennia. I can't up pitch of benga kadel. Before darkness, we don't know how long. Peter's gay. Keep on that mob. When it left, when Joshua Buck Shemino, he out mob Shemnato. He knew Kadel. So when I say when that spirit left, that fire left. So if you were in this room, go to the next room and it's all dark. It's dark once again where the Creator's at. Where the Creator had, he on the wall, Wiikwemkoong. So what the Creator had left now is what happened when that first flicker, that first thought was memory. Anishinaabek, what happened to cause that? The Creator at that moment in time, he don't know the end of them. Took very long time to think too. Pitch in the law. Make it known on then. So we'd always speak out that fire. Have you seen anything yet? Just the darkness, it's everywhere. Midas. Good thing he didn't done. And one time the Creator thought, there's probably nothing out there. Midas is cabin the mat. But what come on? Weaving back. Same thing. If you see me smudge, same actions. We mimic in our ceremonies. The same thing when we conduct our ceremonies, the same thing the Creator did in that creation story. We will not stop. So it came back, called it back. With great speed. Oh, Monaco. Egypt, isn't it? It's all it. Going down that motion like a sine wave. Coming closer and closer. One hole. Wah. Wow, yeah. Me dash. Cheskana. Biz al yer up. Tjana wat tanı biz. I tak schaagun. Mir is man dat kon zingen wat je gaat opschoten. Niet zo deel. The third fire of creation. The split of Jemnato. You'd also, if you want to follow the science books, the second Big Bang. The first one was that first light. The second darkness. And then the second one. The split. The beginning of balance. 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 The opposites come into form. Gimash Silk, the Creator, was one. Beshgowa, the number one. Midish, Itashkawat, Kitkweshko. So in that circle, split. Where? Opposite. Nina. Miwe. So that's what happens there. That split. Sometimes you'll see that circle of life. You'll now see it with two sides. One going this way, one going the opposite way. You know, or if you want to put it in another dimension, you'll see artist renditions. You look at some of those pictures, the crack. Energy, you see the energy of the sun of this way. Energy in our language is built into the words by those motions, that energy, those verbs. But then there's the difference between the physical language and the spiritual language. There's a Ojibwe, that spiritual language. Mimego in Kia, no do Ojibwe, no do Ojibwe, Yago, do Ojibwe. Mego. Midash. Usually Wiikwemkoong. So when that happened, the split. So it would look like that, like an ice cream cone. That's the symbol. Eginya Oshemnato. Vejgo, Nijwa. Or that's crack, Nijwa. The number 2. So our numbers do have meaning. Also, 1 changes to 2. Remember I mentioned that. Spirit, movement, change. Vejik, niche. 1 changes to 2. What does that tell you? Our numbers are animate. Change. The beginning of our philosophy. Monday Ojibwe and English. Monday Anishinaabemolwin and Midewin. So when I talk about that, it's the beginning of our way of thinking. That process. Our philosophy begins. So we use that. Today I still use that. We still speak that way. But we're in conflict because of Western, the new language that came, that's now become very dominant even in our thoughts. But every fluent speaker would know what I'm talking about if they really took time to think about it. They know. But right now it's real hard because of the English language. That's everywhere. This way. It's there. So it interferes with that Anishinaabemolwin. For myself, I think about lots, especially during this pandemic. I stayed at home. So I took me make the creator. Be at peace. Think. What's change again? Ask. Does come sometimes comes just like that, sometimes it doesn't. Because what I believe in, you ask, you put that sema down, it'll eventually come to you. A spirit will take that. And that spirit will come to you. And it happens quite a bit when I'm driving, too. I say, hey, yeah, Domingo, or I remember a word when I was a little child. I said, that's what it means. So somewhere along the line, that spirit caught up to me, looking for me. Because you're going to have to understand. You're also, see, I'm going ahead of myself, but you're also given that name and colors. And that's how the spirits identify you as that. They get numbs it. That's why you always introduce your name. Me, Anishinaabek Yahweh. Anishinaabek, my name. Me, Anishinaabek. That's how I'm going to use it. Me, Anishinaabek. That's how the Anishinaabe has understanding. Anishinaabek, I'm going back. Monday, P. Matkamuk. Rashi Yomdan Maber Jimnato. So the Creator realized because Wiikwemkoong, the memory, taking time to think. When our creation story didn't happen in 7 days. It took a lot longer. Me just got beschwebak, me no. Jimnato. Me no, you know, not dendang. So we went back to its memory, his or her memory. What happened there? We just see makwendang. That fire. So it taught back his memories. What just happened here? What did I create? That flame. Because it was that inspired the Creator to do the next part of that creation. Get up, no, grab that fire and jig it on. So the next part of that creation happens. Starts planting the seeds. What you should do? Skint them. We ought. We bought shot. Start seeding. Start creating the next one. That creation. Me no get up gonna scabi. Me no. Pee it question that happens. Everything can we have margin good. I'm gonna suck stars too. Be just man there way, but it up now was good. Because of the memory. I'm not going down my was him that all. When she got time, look at she. She can't them make a dark with cockashe. Darkness, that dark matter. Nesewin, air, nibe, water, and whatever that I talk about kokashe, what we understand to be matter, right? That would be like rock, earth. This is what I'm going to use to start creating that flame. So the Creator blew into that flame 4 times. Became a big ball of fire. It grew. Asna imam Wiikwemkoong Minoweyweywigaan Lodge. To jest mam. It was very hot. You know, go shit mon go away. We eat semat. I will create somebody, a companion for you too, because they're talking back and forth. Well, just the beginning. Jesus, the sun, was the first that blew into that. Jesus. She also get that light. It's like this over here. Jesus, the sun, was to also call Mishomis, the grandfather, was the first to create from that same flame, the birth of creation. I remember that's why I said that thought, what happened in the beginning, the Creator started getting memory. Wiikwemkoong. Ginanagdenim thought about it too. Didn't rush into it, but now it's communicated. Had someone to visit, Jesus. Hajit motion anyway. Create something, companion for me. Now how? I thought about it too. I wish we might see look there. Nothing's gonna grow there or live. It's too hot. Now we just Jesus wanda. Not casting. Now some when you made me. What the Creator thought, taha. I'm going to use this dark matter, and grab that flame, start molding it. Use the hands. Start molding it. No, going to shebe that moon. Cover it up. Light, dark. Moon. It's like having two. It's like this is the moon. Sun, and there's the moon. Light, Jesus light. Moon was dark. That's why sometimes you see the moon is dark. There's a dark wall. Oh yeah, circle. Started fooling around with them. Now up, like a flashlight. You would shine that flashlight over this object. You start seeing. Eventually, the whole thing will be covered. But as you move it along, it goes like this, back to the solid darkness again. And that's when Ricky's is Jean said. Before even I talk about that, when they start playing with them. I was in it though. After they created the moon. After I was talking, he mommy quit them. I was in it though. The Creator started to cry when he created the moon. Let me just sing. Beach water went down into the moon. Nidash. Because I was play an important part. Nidash Mino. He did the minute. Start playing with them. Nidash Yom down the cycles of the moon. Oh, it's got that game up. Oh, Wikis. You touch got. And there's no care. So that in that moon, surrounded that moon, with water, piggy wet. You just can't even get sing. All around the moon, that water, all around that water, around that moon. He just doesn't that my way. Then he start going like this. And when he saw the cycles of the moon, full moon, then you see the whole cycles. But also, on the moon, it starts like this. The moon starts gradually You get the full moon. It's like someone moving like that. You take out the W. So what is that action? Abo. Like I said, it's the beginning of the language. What was that movement of that moon? Aboganishin. Abotsin, they'd say. 2 languages, 2 parts. The moon in its movement. Go like that. Abo. Then you have the water around it. Wobble. Midesh mino. He dad minute wab. Jemneto. Sam this besher ki sad mabu. Jesus. Ki sad nen. Shkubu besher ki sad. Bichu besher mabu yad bikisis. Oko. So he called the moon Okumis, Oko. And besher mabu yad mishomis ki sad. Oko. So it got too close to the moon. You know, mostly up because it was filled. It's like filling up a pail of water. Right to the top. So I'm just Beshagi son. Midishia Wiikwemkoong. Git Kweshka. Maba Oko. Okwe. So that's grandmother, Oko. Grandmother moon. Grandfather sun, Mishomis. The moon cracked. Kweshka. Now we don't gonna show it. Gonna scabi mino. Pima de gijet. Kiwakawa. Kiwakazge. Pig. Veshe. Manda que nem was conhece que já. Já jet ma vago. Jesus. Imadi wakawa ma waya. Vikisis. So what I'm saying in the language, because of that water, light reflected, creating a rainbow. If you have an experiment, put light towards water, you'll see that. So all around that moon, the colors, like a rainbow, all around. Midishgi Kweshkat. Then it cracked. Out came out the water. Bishkintum. Then the reflection created that rainbow spewing out. Gimoko game. Ibim mokajon. Moko. You hear me call grandma Oko. Mokse, moko, goes out, flowing out, moko. Game also means water. Game. So does wabu. So it's nabi. So we just don't have one word. You'll hear that later on when I talk more about the language. Anishinaabemolwin. Ki moko game. Ma ba oko. Ma ya okwe anint kidok. Oko. Iwakawa. Wa. Wabu. Manam pane inje kedya. Habdik skintawai ni gani mabu. Manda bish. Habdik skintawai ni gani manda bish. Ich bin ja hui matsimuluk. So the water has to always lead. From that crack of the moon spewed out the water. When the woman gives birth, water comes out first. Okob. Okwe, Anand Kedok. The moon, water came out from that crack. Out came the colors. Miwe, Bematsuin. Kinenen. Nandegen. Wiikwemkoong. Ni Enish was cause again. We all have everything Manda. Oh, Neen. We're all made from those colors. You want to say it scientifically, Kinenen is Nandegen. That is, all those colors is what we're all made of. Everything in the universe is made from those. And those are the elements. The universe let a greater grab that colors from that rainbow. Yom done. Bah, someone do you think Bematsuin? I think this is life. Yumanda Bematsuin. This is life. You just give one out. I just mean all shit on. Because the moon had to give birth to that. The moon, crack. Just like when a baby comes from a woman's crack, comes out that way, life. Same thing, water had to come out. That's why water is so sacred to us. Without water, there is no life, no chance of life. It's very sacred. Water must lead first in order for there to be life. Bematsuit. You hear me use that word, Mada, all the way through here. That's the common theme. It's more understanding in the language. Why everything is here. We just can on the autoconduct. Jesus, the big Jesus, so we start talking, communicating with the sun and the moon. What am I going to use all these colors? And then, the next planet. But for that, those colors. Good. That rainbow. That circle. The first planet to be created. So in my language, so how else would we say rock? Abik. Big planet. Was Saturn. That ring. Movement started happening again. Movement. Movement plays a part again. With fire creation. Movement. More movement will happen. Which time what's in creation? Shiga de yin on on. Pone one digging botchadok. No sabri on this kodesh, shinosh kodin is mekadok in botchan gonin. What the mamanda? Itan botchadok. I went to my worry to sin mandaya. Can you hold it taggy, shung geneto, get not matok. So the Creator didn't create the universe by him or herself. God help from that fire. They communicate. Communication's key. Everything had to be done by consensus. They helped each other out. Jesus, the sun, first. Me this the big Jesus, the moon. Me this is just also get on Saturn. In boche dog just conduct me just yaba is just got egg. You know, me no got no scabi me no. Pima vaya, it quest got ma woko when the moon cracked. Oh, then it goes in the kagi epidemic. So yes. Parts of it went out there, in the darkness. It's just like breaking a piece of glass. Part of that glass will go out. You know, sure, look, sure. Come on, just another about time, piwe. Parts of that moon when it went out. That's going to play a significant role in this creation story. Movements start to happen. Can you give Toshka Dodmond? Get tying on there. Ricky's is so around the moon. The sun. Movements start going. There's me know Jupiter. Saturn, Jupiter. Here's God's Mercury, Mars. Gamshe. The earth was last. It hasn't been made. So at the time of this too, they all communicated. Can you win Bob Bochoto? I shall wish it on. I'm on this side, and you're going to shit to done. We'll help each other create these other levels. Same time. Like I said, everything happens simultaneously. It's hard to, you have to break it up this way. We just nen. Levels. Well, we're swimming in Jayat. Get him in the door on top. Jesus. And so forth, those planets. And then in the middle, creating these realms. These 8 realms. Medegish Won, the first 4. Midewin. Midas Mino. 4th one there. Nuitagish Won. Nisha, you gave Ish Majish out in the toad. So the Creator created that realm. Nuitagish Won. Some people even say Chin de Ben Daswin. Chin de Ben Daswinning. Which would, in English we would say probably heaven. It is the Dokishan and then the spirits. Ogomatic. That's the tree. Ogomatic. Ogma, Saswa, the nest. The Thunderbird sits on top of that. Then you have the entrance of that lodge. The bomb there, the one that stands in front of that lodge, watches the entrance. The bomb there, another spirit. All these spirits, Nok Misnanic, Mishom Sananic, all those spirits. Minoweyweywigaan. The lodge that's up there in heaven. What am I going to say? No, Tagish won't. Misha. You should got up to it was very bright. We just got it. Nish on them got it. It's gone there. Me Josh gone there. So it had two colors. That lodge. Red and blue. Misha. You should got it. Nidok says as a yoke. Dog, this one, that's not a dog. So they're there, they communicate with each other. What next to create? When it's what you got to take. Me just, you should got again and then can I get you one. Me they get you one. Me just new tag is going. Me big is going. Nung is going. Me just niet gaan niet gewoon. Op zich allemaal wel gezemd door. Kima mi kwentam kine o gajet tot. Kine o gitag is gewoon. Dan go sak. Kine ne walk up god. Ego. Die dus geen en dan mi nog gezemd door. Taha. Ja begaaf dik niet het ton. Wees Moet hem ook bij maat zo in, hier neemt hem. Ja, we hebben niet het doen. Ja, we hebben de mesten aan. We doen een dag ook. Wie dus? Wie de baat tang. Well, gezang alsjeblieft. So the Creator said, I'm going to create one more, a place where life can flourish. Here we go. Maar ook in en dan... Seen you net down on all these planets are just rocks right now. Can you not stop? You should go there on. It's a baby. Shaky mean the gas hook. Remember I told you what that one is. That spirit necessary for life. Can you go in? Walk up, go. All those planets. That core at a flame. Each of those planets have their own creation story. The one I'm talking about is for Earth. Midas. Je zit tot in. Ja, wees ik moet het doen. Can you wonder where life can flourish? Midas Jesus. Jesus. Niet anders dan ook iets san, wie Jesus. Oh ja, Jesus. Oh, nog mis. Niet gaan iets san. Soms yeah. So the Creator grabbed that moon because they're connected together as it goes around. Things are starting to be in motion. Midas. Jesus niet gaan niet sagas. So the Creator put that moon in front of the sun. So what is that? Eclipse. When that happened, it's like they say in our language, in our culture, the moon and the sun meet. Midas maar we nu al zit. Ook in dat zit. The earth was born from that eclipse. Midas egi salasit. Continuing. I couldn't sing. I couldn't sing. He's salasit. Third rock from the sun. It's also like levels. When I talked about the levels of those realms, the spiritual realms, also the levels for the planets. We see in levels too. Anishinaabe. I can walk in levels. The 8 levels I walk on earth, just like the 8 levels were lowered down. Min en one. all those spiritual realms. There's 8 for us to be Lord, our spirit. And physically, there's a physical realm, those planets around the sun. And it's like a family structure, child all the way to grandparenthood, the levels of that family. Levels of a community as well. So we see in levels. That's why I say in the language, nisowe. When you see those circles, those are also levels. You turn it this way, circle, and you turn it this way, you see levels. Undan in then. The bomb jagadan. So they put the earth into that, and everything set everything in motion. We could put again with there's lots of force coming in. Yeah, but Mamach gonna nagach. Not gonna scabi p. Be we could put again with it. Pitcha gi taska atkan. Och kapkon. Ondaga. Saha ba ya unnen dagata. Makwendang nen ya. As walk cause get those colors. Ya was sanga mean ways would mean. Give thanks everything he created. Mean way. Ja, hoe lang is het dan? Mijn God. En wat je ook ja, wat kennen we dan? Even wat de na stap je nog aan het net ook. Chen wat je ook. Wees me nog eens zei bij en dan je nog zijn net toch? Ja. Ik is je uit, man de nen mooi ding. Mijn kan is dan. Shkiki, the medicines, in spirit form, the plants. We share been jang. When away we got in that lodge, they were in there. Skit them, and he got zit Ogomatic. So you had the leader of the plant clans. Plants, the seeds. Minkanesan means seeds in our language, those gifts. Mingwel's a none, those gifts. And the Creator's thoughts to create seeds, those seeds in spirit form. And had their leader, Ogomatik. And which we call Ogomatik here on earth. You can also call him Anishinaabek, which is the poplar tree. The poplar tree. The leader of the plant. Midash. So they're in that lodge. Staha, Himami Quetam Jamnato. You can in an uplish nungo. Me nabit. Me always so dumb dung. In an abit. You tagish gum. Can I open on gashes same? Gashes silk. Nungo skage. The stars everywhere. Everything's lit up in the universe. Gitagish gum. Yeah, go used to dumb dung. So the Creator saw something in those stars. The Creator saw animals and brought those totems into that lodge in spirit form. First came the seeds, the medicines, and then the animals. Shtaha. You know what I'll do with it again? Okay. You toss it. Can you go out? You warm down. So the Creator said, I'm going to go out there and have a look at what I created. And so we can wash calm over Gemnato. Gimwe. The Creator cried with such great joy what she created. Tears in every planet that was out there. That's not an out one. Everything, water. Not stop here, not be king. Here on earth too. They were just rocks. So what happened when those tears hit those rocks? Snow. What time it wouldn't be? It was just rock at first. There was no chance for life. Till that water came. Like I always said, water's first. Yeah, it was just a temuk. The biggest thing was Embish when the water landed on the earth from the tears. You went my way, I was not. Bish, nibbe. Necessary for life. Because water is life. That water had to go on earth first in order to create that, because me mampi bematsu in huitemgok. So the Creator said, this is where life, creation, I'm going to put here. All these spirits of that, those gifts I gifted, of those seeds and of those animals. So they're all visiting, all the spirits, even the plant clan, animal clans, all the spirits communicate. Something's missing. So the animals, clans, plant clans, all the spirits that are up there converge. All right, there's something else missing, the Creator said when he was visiting. Ashab. So I continue on, Midrash. Bottom pigi kweshkatwa. Ukwe. Kweshka. Ukwe. Ukum. Cracked. Parts of it went out. Midrash kinio imat semgok. Kino me give tossing kino give. We geese So everything started moving like in a circle around the sun. Movement. Midrash. Kinio beskabig book. Midrash then. Chegak kweshkak. So parts of where the moon cracked came back. We just yom. Nebeshe. Nipedem what the. We just said nigan meat. Shemneto. He was saying it. Taha. He owned this. So the Creator, once that piece of the moon came back, the Creator saw something. It is like a mirror. He owned this. The Creator saw him or herself. And now I know what I'm going to create next. I saw what I need. I'm going to create someone in my image. Niger. How about Abed Niger? I'm going to create a being. I see Abed with Nakazia. Josh is a king. Get watch him. No, going to work good. So in the earth, me just me all get dying. Hot dying. Them work. You know what I'm saying? Bishke, tempo Josh here, king. Let's say when So already the earth already has in the core it's fire, earth, water, and there's air. because he blew life into that. It was time for that earth to go. This is put in its place. Third rock from the sun. Midashal. Bah, I'm not calling no more. I'm gonna scabi with it. Gonna jaw with it. King. Mama King. Going. Earth. Go back to earth. And I'm going to use that earth to create man. Parts of that earth. Mishki Jatse, King. Mawajim to. Tamigi Tapanan. Non Algo English, Scote. Ishmino. Okay. Skitamuigo. Migas. Mikasun. Mawajim Tapanan. Grab the Migas shell. Fire. Scote. Bish. Okay. Mishi Bodaj get newing. Blew into it 4 times. Mish Kinaganduk. I'm doing that now. Kinagane. Together. Put it together. To create man from that. So that's why we always said man was created from the earth. The Creator took parts of that earth to create man. So all of humanity, same thing. At the same time, this creation, the Creator created other races of man, but they have their own creation story. But this one is ours. Each race has their own creation story, but this one is Anishinaabe. Other races were created also, the same thing was done to create the other races. It's because that rainbow inspired Creator to create life, other forms of life, plant colors, everything, rock colors, everything. I was in the you just don't can go. Me to just get in. Not still gonna scabi, you know, I'm going down. So I'm going to stop there for a while and go back to when the plants are created. Because there was 4 other plants aside from Ojibwe, Ojibwe and English, Midewin Yabad, Shikikinson, Nigabuijik, Ejigit English. So there are also 4 more medicines that are in that circle. Sema, Gishkan Duk, Shudawansh, English. Tobacco, cedar, sage, sweetgrass. So all of them contributed back again to the creation of man. Remember I told you, everyone converged to create the first being. So we're at the point where it's the time of gift giving. We goes on the 6th fire. The gift from that thought. Meaning, you mean the so in time of gifting. Mean God. The seeds came from that 6th fire of creation. Even when those animal clans were created too, they all had different contributions. Courage, sight, everything we have that's meaning to us. Even the veins like rivers. They all contributed in the creation of man. So in the creation of man, there was all contributing. They all communicated. They took their time. We don't know how long this is already. It wasn't in 7 days. Because the Creator always went back from that first flame that was necessary for creation to where we are. That's why the Creator said, that flame was the first thing. You just know that's why he grabbed that from the cord. King, the center of the earth, to grab that fire because it is necessary. That soul. Jacob. Everything necessary to create life, just like how he created, everyone had a core, fire. Shkote. Because that's life, spirit. Nidosh. Not mob. Put it together. Earth. Shkote. Ke. Bish. Shkote. Migas. Midoshi bodaj get. Jibo bodaj get. Newing. 4 times it went down through the fingers, back to earth. And those were the 4 medicines, the 4 medicines. Shke, first on earth. Medicine, that's what we say in our language, shkike. First on earth. Sema always leads the way. Just like that song, Sema niga nindo Sema. Sema leads the way. Sema minigani. Behind it to clean it. Ishkandok, cedar, to purify. Shkode wash, and to bind them all together. Reed grass. So I keep saying that they all help each other. And that's how we were defined as our people. We help each other. Well, through this creation story is how we're supposed to run our lives as one big family. One. Everything by consensus, not alone. A lot of how we are supposed to be, we're supposed to be like in that creation story. How we're going to live. And every day. All the Creator and the spirits showed us how to live that good life. Try to live that good life. That's how we are supposed to be as Anishinaabek. This is our story. Other people have their own creation story. This is Anishinaabes. When man is created, you already have those medicines. Shkike, first. Shke. New. Shke is also first. Shkintam. All these were created. Shke Kingston. First in the line of creation of those seeds too. Minkan is son. Midosh Mabashem the do. We omen the body. We o. So created man. Can I show you? Me mabum neshkat. The veins, the rivers, like the rivers contributed that. Different parts of the bones. Connection. All the way through this, I talk about how we're all connected. Get the woke. My knees, example. They're animate because they connect. Can you say not the malgil? Maybe we mal umneshkat, win matsit, ninjini, we dong, we should tot get in the closet. Skish good. Time of gifting. He was giving all his sacred bundle. Shkapatrikan. We not cause it speaking to use on earth. Can we me well? We non dung. We more change get. We most don't. Then more in the thought. All of that memories beyond Kidmogin. So why do you think we think like the Creator too? Gosh, dung through the Creator's eyes, which means possible. Wabe light can't see without light, and the Creator knew that. He can't unlock them the door. Meaning, it was very dark long time, he bewab it. Light came to make it possible to see. Was in the door. Can you mean not? All those gifts giving to men. Man. Just say, we Minoweyweywigaan in that lodge. All those dodems. Get about that away. Because in that lodge, those 4 directions, 4 medicines also carry those teachings. They walk out. Atsukan, Yamaji Atsukilk. Niwinaka epidemic. Matsuin. So life in those 4 directions. I'll stop going. Midash. Anishinaabemolwin, mean where is it? Wiikwemkoong sight. Midewin. Just Midewin. Up to Guam Daniel. That's how the Creator remembered because of that light. After that, it's just darkness, can't remember nothing. Until P. Matkamak, he saw all the actions that happened. That created that memory. We wove it to see. Eyes. And each of us mimic the universe, our eyes. Gijgon, they called it. All this out here, Gijgon. We call this Yijik, our eyes in their language, because it mimics the universe, the center, too, where the Creator's at, where we're going to travel back. Bini Yang, when you go home. When you're Lord. That's you as that little spirit. Nisha. Tells you where you're from. To see what the Creator sees. Gift of sight. Made possible only by light. The Creator had memories. So, that sight had to come first in order to process. Just Midewin. Thought. Oh. Manda. Got about Tad Gomanda. Skintum, Manda Kina. Tassid. It's been rolled up. Get to bed. To bed. The Creator did this action to create this. And for man to get lowered down, it's going to be rolled out for him. Like a carpet. And this is incidentally what they call that, linoleum floor, carpet, because that's how they saw it when they brought it across here. That's why I made this red. Because eventually, that's the red road. And that red road is only yours. Yours alone. Maba, Abe. You mean well, sir? We wob it, we knob it. We do this, we not cause it. We quite them win. As you mean well, so. And then, yeah, Mokko, Aunt Ken Marget. We just mean no more basic. Aunt Ken Margin. We should no Marget. Maar basic, Beneshi. Maar Anishinaabek, we no. So what I just said there is, yes, the first gift he got was sight. And then the other one, thought. Memory in relation to the bear. And then speech to express that thought. Mi just maba given non dagsit. Then it was the hummingbird that spoke out. Nindagama started to sing. No chungo chamaba. Anoshkansis. Nipipiset kinangoja. Anondagsit. Nanamat. So it was the hummingbird, the keeper of the language, that spoke out. Because the hummingbird flies in all directions, forward, up, down, and backwards. It's the only bird that will fly backwards. The hummingbird, all those directions we have in our language, gave that to man as it sang. Nagama. Nagama. Midishmawaban. Anishinaabemolwin. Ki nagadang dang. Anishinaabemolwin. Ki nagadang dad. So we'll start speaking in complete sentences. The hummingbird, you can go forward. N. Towards B. Up B. Down J. J for back. So we have all those references in our language where the language flows. And that's what the hummingbird taught man. Mabunabe. All of that directions in that circle. And that's how our language flows in that when we communicate in the language. How we process that thought and we express it. Nanamat. Ninama. That exhale. That sound. So all these contributing parts, the clans, they all contribute of this new spirit, this Abe, Anishinaabek, Nisnaabe, Nene. Midishmawagan Shemne do. What did me know? Kina shot, ge no, ge ma wayat, injayat, kina kishege, me no. Nen nis, not nen. Ant kupachekadan. Ma Anishinaabe way out. So that spirit already came, that fire. That still continues from the Creator. You know, when we create, when I'm created, the Creator always, like we say, creates that spark from that flame. But for this first man, he got his spirit from that earth. Because from that same flame that was in the earth came from that very first fire, that spirit. From there, man got his spirit there. So man's body was created. We say Wiikwemkoong Minoweyweywigaan. We just, it's what I just said right now. He got his whole body, but right now, everything was exposed. The veins, the meat, did not have a covering. We just bought the mom on the Wagadek. Minoweyweywigaan. That lodge had 2 coverings. Red, blue, squaw, squaw. Me just gondak. Schnickinson, to them nanik. So the plants and the animals in that lodge said, we'll cover him up with one of this. We'll give him the color red. We go got. We go jet mava. Anishinaabek. So the plants, the spirits, the plant spirits and the animal spirits said, we will give this being covering and it will be red. We'll give him the color red. And from now on, after this point, the lodge became just blue. It had a blue covering, like the sky. Ishgum. So man, Anishinaabe got it. Hence the word red skin. So a lot of contributing factors happened in this creation story. It wasn't just Wiikwemkoong. All of Wiikwemkoong's creation so far contributed to create man. He's just. We just Abe. So he was given teachings. All those realms already got Midewin. Each of them. So he got all of that in Midewin teachings of each of those levels. As he was there, back to earth, back to which we call heaven, he must say us. That spirit there, the one that stands at the gate, walks by the entrance of that lodge and says, don't look in there. You'll walk by. You will look in there when you return. So we got another teachings took by Ogamatik. Ogamatik gave him teachings too. And on top there, the Thunderbird gave him teachings. Well, still Abe, so I'm not it still. Then the plants came. All those teachings already, because the man, as he gets Lord, will get more teachings, those other 4 levels. So the head of the 4 of those plants was wingush, sweetgrass. There's sema. And wingush said, before he gets Lord down, Anishinaabe. Wingush just ma say. You go on kid mon, Anishinaabe. On so kanen. Ni minen den on so kanen. One nagadoid. Where now in the matazid. So sweetgrass. Understanding about sweetgrass is that there's 4 directions in our culture. Midewin. 4 directions. To the east, sema, tobacco. To the south, gishkanduk, cedar. To the west, shkodewash, sage, and this. Why it's binded up in 3? Because it combines all of that. Wingush said, Wanda, we bought key the mago. Unrolling. Rolls out for man as he was lowered down. And in that road is a lodge. And in that lodge, the center of that lodge, is a fire. Shkode. And in that lodge, Wingush talks about, puts out 4 stones and talks about Sema, east, Wabanong. In that direction, east, Wabanong. In my language, Wabe. You heard me talk about that. We Wabit, sight. And the only reason there's sight, light. Light comes every morning. Light, white, also represents a new beginning, new life. It also represents love, compassion. And every morning when you offer your tobacco in those prayers every morning, you ask for hope. Although we could end them. To the east is hope. Hope. Birth. New day, new beginning. And then he points to the second rock. Anishinaabek. Imabashabet, yeah, Ishkan, Ishkok. You will use this to purify. Also to the south, also represents time. Being, we are, a pichiga being. We, yain me we bemadis. He is our ego. We mamu isin, which be modest. We reach Semato, which be modest. Time to be with someone, time to be with loved ones. This is also time for strength. Strength in numbers, family. That treat, Tiknabe will give you that guidance of that Sema. Sema will go first, followed by cedar. That cedar will purify that. Will cleanse. Because it goes up quick. You know, thanks to our understanding of a tree. You're going to see seeds. All life looks like this. Seeds, trees, all those circles. Once that tree buds, leaves roll out like this. Up, tick. So it goes points up all the time. Because of that Tiknabe's teaching. That Tiknabe there, you'll see it down there. Ugmatik gave him that teaching too. You'll send any prayers you want, will go upstairs, and that cedar will be there to cleanse it, purify it. Only goodness goes up. Truth. Quick. That's up here in this room. Gishik. All the way in this room. This will come here. To the west is where part of you growing up, also going back to the south, is you'll be maturing. At that point, maturing, another age group. Then you go to the west. West is where you become older. Adulthood. But also, west represents that purifying of the spirit. And I give you this gift, that the one to the west, sage, to cleanse your spirit, your soul. But it's also a time for you to learn, time to find meaning. Wiikwemkoong. So going back to the south, again, the south, because of that time, it's a time to belong. The Bendogasuin. So to the east, hope, Wiikwemkoong. In that hope always begins in the east. But we could end up. The Bendogasuin, belonging, is to the south. To the west is where you learn. You want to know the meaning of life. And to the north, it combines all three to form this. All three, hope, belonging, meaning. And with that to the north, Wingush, why it's put in braids. Mijmava, Wingush. Windemagget, it tells of where wisdom is. You must find the meaning, then you must understand that, and that becomes wisdom. With that wisdom, you start doing. Action. That is why you are going to be put down there. And that is your purpose. To the east, hope. To the south, belonging. To the west, meaning. The north is your purpose. All those teachings that come for you to become that strength you are, and start applying that in your life. What you have to do. And then dogsi, we don't key what to do. To use that meaning and to understand it becomes knowledge, and applying that to your life. Sometimes that tree will bend. Ringo said, we will bend, as he teaches them. Because what was rolled out, Anishinaabe, this life, is the red road. And we call that also Wiikwemkoong. Some people call it Wiikwemkoong. So this road, when it's unrolled out, everything for creation, the Creator, kan not gonna get, and they're not gonna get rolled out. That's the plan man has in that lodge. Because in that lodge is also what Oakmont Tix talks about, the tree of life. 7 points. The 7 stages of life. Started from birth to elderhood till finally you die, you go back into that western doorway. So man got all these teachings. He'll get more as he goes down. So right at the edge of that lodge, Oakmont takes right here, the bomb, the boss stands here, spirits, and on the other side of that tree, it lies a river. So now they said, now it's time for you to go. We rolled this out. Because that bright light shining from Nitagi Joje, Jiaje. He just said, me the bun. Not there, shit, my way. Take the shadow going across that river. And that's where he was told, Mabanabe, we not commit. He'll use that shadow to cross this. So all that red road was already rolled out. That lodge for him. That lodge is his body. That road will take him there. Those teachings, those circles, many seeing it means that isn't he so it? That'll be his perspective, his way of thinking, the way he'll communicate, express those in those levels, seeing life in those levels. Be walking. We must all be in. You'll be walking. You will learn, and you'll move on. That's the Midewin way. Being this ago, you move on. I understand that. I'm going to move on, learn some more. Next step, next step. You learn. Never stop learning. You're going to be continuing to make mistakes. You'll be making some mistakes. That tree will bend as Oakmont bends as they tell that story. But don't let it crack. If it cracks, you'll crack. No, not just copying the way to have a tough time going back. I guess maybe that's where the concept people get from it was the medicines that gave him that teaching. In that circle, because in that center of that circle, those 4 rocks is that fire. Shkote. That's what he carries here. We all do. Jacob, Anishinaabemolwin, Yant Ken Magas at we. Nimnuewumawin Yant Ken Magas at Sukan. A lot of teachings he got passed down to him. Josh just gave on the gun. He should go so good. Aside from Anishinaabe, other beings are created a race from all those other colors. And already, they were already lowered. Let me take another step back again. Before man was created, the Creator says, okay, I'm going to create man. But ahead of this time, I need to do something on earth. So we look to all Nimkibeneshi, the thunderbird, the head of all bird clans, all the birds. We want you to take those seeds and spread them throughout the earth. So each seed we have here on earth has a bird to answer to. Each bird carries one seed and it answers to that tree, that plant, that medicine. So all the birds went down. Nimkibeneshi led the way. All the birds in creation flew down and took form, life form. Took life form. The hummingbird came down. The chickadee, the bald eagle, the crow, they all came down and seeded the earth, the blue jay. Started seeding the earth. Soil already was created because of the tears of Gimnato. Water is there already. Water had to come to create that life first. We just can't help look. It started to turn green. In my culture, in Anishinaabemolwin, there are 4 primary colors. Zawa, Muskwa, Shoshkwa, Wapshkwa. Yellow, red, green, blue, and white. All in those 2 directions. But when I say wa, also means wa is circle. But that means everything from light to dark is in that realm, that spectrum. But in order for me to identify that, I would have to see it, to know what I'm talking about, the context. Zawande. Yellow. Zawande. Yellow. Or even brown. Zawande. It's all those from light yellow to brown. Zawa. But now everything wants to be matched with English. But those are the 4 primary colors, but we identified that by sight and the context, knowing what that is. Like in a language, you'd say, Uzawa Mik. Uzawa Mik. Brown beaver. Because it's in that color realms of yellow. So all of this, the races of man were already created and already lowered before Anishinaabe was last. Anishinaabe didn't want to go. Right, Nishasi, Nuijaga Merushinda, Niyashinda, Nutanazagin, Jemneto. So the Abe Nabe said, I don't want to go. I love you. I don't want to go. I like staying here. It's your turn now. You have to go. So as man was put at the edge, Yigang, Jen being, because the next realm after Nuitagi is going the big Ishgong, the water realm. And then Winger speaks up. The great law. You go, nis nagas et mab. Nabe. Mab nis nabe. Nis nagas. Nis nabe. Mab Winger skiketa. Man de yabe, hogunik kewin, man. The final instructions man got as his Lord. Could have been the house at water. A well could have been seen. Me at the well the bedman. Womi can on Agadoin. Where Gishin me could. Me at the well the bedman. So the final instructions man got was you will own nothing. You'll be part of everything. The only thing you will own will be that red road. That is the great law. That red road is the only thing you own. You are in Magas, so that was his final instructions. The Bendago said, I will get the Bensin. You will own nothing. You'll be part of everything. And the only control he has is his life, that red road he follows, and all these instructions he'll get to live the good life. Miresh Gimachat. He washed them, started to cry. I don't want to go. I need to see. Kaya Bedeko. Then he goes, takes a step into the water realm. Ni zeg bit koshkagot, ne ben nedo. Mishabju. Nigik. Can you all get in the dog say out of being? So man, Menabe Gago. No, but this Nishnabe. So man, Nis na abe, because he's Lord. Nis na abe. Into the water realm. Got teachings of the water, the importance of water, how sacred the water is. The water spirits spoke to him. Mishabaju, another water serpent. Nigik, the otter, the dolphin, the merman. They all gave him the teachings about the water. Can you always have him be so kendang? And Abadak. Ab they worship Nagden Dunga. And she pit tendang. So take care of it. To honor it, that water. Don't take it for granted. As he crosses across that shadow, it commit. Anishinaabemolwin. Manjam me go me hat. Big Ishgong. It is we not commit. Nang go Ishgong. So man crosses and gets his teachings about the water realm, the water spirits gave him all those teachings. Now he's ready to cross into the next realm. Nangishgong, the star realm. Got out of the water. Niganit Kukit steps forward right into the star realm. As soon as he steps into the star realm, so as he steps into the star realm, takes his first step, something hits him right here. Pideshgi takshka gotwe. Migi kedat wabenisna abe. Do dem. In the language that means my spirit, my clan. This is where, in that star realm, Nisnaabe got his clan. Yuin Magon. Panegodongo ni wich semin. I'm going to be with you for eternity. I'm your clan, and that clan for Nisnaabe was Minkan, the wolf. So there is that. When you are lowered, you pass the water realm, the Bigishgong. You step into the star realm, Mije. That's where you get your clan. Do them, your spirit. Your clan will be with you forever, for eternity. Midishmaaba. Anishinaabe. Anishinaagasat. Ishnomagasa, yant ken magasa kenego. Sukadent kenisha nango gishgong. So, man here got all his teachings, all the clans, all their teachings to respect all life, animals, how they are equal. Your spirit's no greater than theirs. You walk together, live together. All those teachings, clans, is what you see in our lodges. That red road is laid across. And each of them has 4 levels. And each of them has little squares, rectangles. And each of those rectangles you see in there are all teachings he got from that star realm. Yes, we have the 7 grandfathers. But there's also, in those 7 grandfathers, are sub-clans. So along with the 7, there's probably another 200 more. So he got all those teachings. So he got all those teachings. Each of those levels. The bear, marten, gigon, fish. Well, I'll say in the language, mako, bear. Awashinshi, marten, gigon, fish. Washkashin, deer, hoof clan. There's all the Mumpi, Mung, Loon, Jajak, Crane, Benishi. 7 clans. Each of those clans, each of them have the leader. I just named them all out there. The leader is the Black Bear, or the Bear clan. Martin, for the Martin clan, that's all the warriors. The bear, protectors and healers, medicine, people of medicine. Then you get to the fish clan. The leader of the fish clan is Shiken, the turtle. Knowledge, wisdom. Then you get to the deer clan. The gentleness, compassion, love. Then you get to the loon, which is chieftainship, chiefs, the inner chief. And then you go to the crane, the outer chief, that goes outside diplomatically. And then the bird clan, Megizin, the bald eagle. All those are all leaders in that. You heard me talk about that earlier, about the teachings, the medicine teachings. Because there's going to be more to that. Because the clans will add on to that. Who sits in those directions? Along with those medicines. Those are all medicines I was talking about. Trees, plants. This time, the animals will put their contribution into that circle. It's what the English, but we don't even have a word for medicine wheel. But that's the concept. They came up with medicine wheel. Because in the beginning it was given by the Shkikinsan, the medicines. English explained that. I would just call them Atsokanen, I guess. Teachings. So I've talked about every one of that lodge. All those squares you see in our lodge, as those are all teachings. And you go this way, that's a red road you're going to follow, and you can learn all those teachings to live the good life. But you also, you're going to make mistakes. And you're supposed to learn from that mistakes, not do that again. And next step. That's the Midewin way. That's what Midewin really means. Growing. knowledge, understanding, purpose, all that for Midewin way. Mi just ish go on to Canada, Anishinaabe. So man got this teaching, the stars. The next realm is the sky realm. He got to go. And it was there. The birds greeted him. More teachings about the sky, the air, everything. So man already had all his teachings as he was ready to go next level. But at each teaching, each level, man would always look back. That light is getting smaller, and each time, Ninaskabi, I want to return. God, continue. Each time he was told to continue, he cried. Each of those stops, he didn't want to go, because that circle, that light, is getting smaller. Eventually, it was just a little speck when he finally reached the sky realm. Ninaskabi, ka, amamda. More he cried. Didn't want to go. Then he got his teachings. Now he's ready to hit the earth. He has no clothes, nothing. So he's lowered down, came down the earth. It's the earth. He just said, as he landed, he's saying the language. So what do you think happens if you fall somewhere on the ground and you hit with so much force? You'll leave an imprint. So we're hearing that word. The first earth. Because the second earth, you say, Shkakmikwe. New earth. After the great flood. Pizagi Shkaksum set now, but Anishinaabe. Mije. Ibsose. Landed on a plant. Keeps on. The tobacco plant. Jubak. It was only known as Jubak. He was very sad that when he landed, crushed that plant. And he started singing, wah, he, wah. Wah, he, wah, he, wah, he, wah. To bring him back to life. Now, this came back to life in spirit form. Now, same all. Before, it was just a plant, a living plant. Until you take the leaves off, it becomes a spirit form. Same all, life. That's why it's in the east. We same all. Walk with someone for life. We same all. Be with someone for the rest of your life. And that's what Mingun was too. Anishinaabe, Midash. You bet Kashkagot. Mingun. So the wolf greets him, because that's his clan. To walk with him, we reach send dok. Nunga. Well, Mingun, we can on. Can we wish it got take an abadak, Nabadat. Can you go on Peking? So the wolf is going to take man, take him out. But I'll even go that way. I'll keep forgetting about one part. Yeah, when after man got that Sama, saw the nice grass, and started to dance, how happy he was to get there. The grass dance. That's why we have the grass dance, to mimic man's first steps. Started dancing, then got greeted by the wolf. And like I said, we mimic everything from that creation story in our ceremonies. It's the exact same stuff we do in our ceremonies. You want to take life, you put this down. Sema. You ask for that tree. I'm going to cut you down. I'm sorry. Please forgive me for taking your life. How I'm going to use this for good. So we always put this down because of that. Mawa Sema. Mijiji Maji, Anishinaabe now he's called. As he was lowered down, he's called Anishinaabe. And he's finally gone here and became Anishinaabe on earth. That was just in the spirit realm. Once you enter here through that eastern doorway, you're in a different realm. Now you're in physical form. In physical form, that body, but everything happened to him in that sky realm. That body in physical form, that was just the spirit going down. So his man was lowered down, walked together. So they went east. Wabnung. They must go to all in a big circle. So they went the direction. And this is where all these teachings come in, where the clans come in as well, into that, what people call the medicine wheel. It was the deer in the east. And this is where the story of the deer comes from. My clan. Kyo man mabel Anishinaabe bizagenit. Binge jege pakatege. So what I said there is he sees man come. Because the wolf was going to teach that man, Anishinaabe, everything on all the four directions, the name of plants, trees, rivers, whatever, everything would be named and a purpose on earth. You wanted to say everything was named. So they started at the east, and they were greeted there by the leader of the east, and that's the deer. But the deer saw man come. He was cold. Remember I said he was naked. He was cold, bakadege, and hungry. Because the deer leads by example. The deer also represents bravery. How many people can say, you can take my life so you can live? And that's what the deer did. He mean this amab. So the deer offered himself to clothe man and to eat. Showed compassion. Gishwend man. Ginagain man. Of Anishinaabe. Minoge. Yakade. Akadewin. How many people can say, take my life so you can live? That's sacrifice. That takes a lot of bravery. And the wolf took its life. They ate, clothed him. And in that east, another one came by and gave him all the teachings, named everything, purpose, meaning of everything in the east. Then they went south. They were greeted there by Gnu, the golden eagle. They named everything, got the meaning, their purpose. Then they went west. The buffalo greets them. And again, same thing. You want to go there. And what everything's purpose is, the meaning, the names. And of course the same thing to the north. Kude, the black bear, black bear. Make a deficit. You not stop, you can't kid Maggie, you can want you want to go there, can you go? Everything was named. Bah. Me some very much saying. Now it's time for me. Say goodbye. We don't know how long. How long were they? 1,000 years? It took a long time to walk all over the earth. All the animals came in that circle. All the animals came in that circle in all the 4 directions. Man was there in the center. And he said, no, we can't doing. Now it's time for us to take a step back. It's your turn now. Kintab. Kanagda hinchige. Kintab kom mishme. It is your turn now to watch over us, watch over this earth. You know everything's purpose, how everything works. It is now the age of man. The animals, plants, said goodbye. They will be together all the time, but they all step back. It is your turn now to take care of this earth. So that is why Anishinaabe are stewards of this earth. We were passed down right from Abo. Anishinaabe was also known as Wiikwemkoong, or some people say non-Abwashon. Past that, on generation to generation till I am right now. Those teachings, not stop Anishinaabemolwin, Wiikwemkoong, passed down to me. From that sacrifice, the plant said, it's your turn. Now you're at the age of man. You have that dual responsibility to take care of us and the earth. Everything on parts with the water. Because we gave you what everything is named, its purpose, its meaning. That's why we are, what do we say, the stewards of the earth. That responsibility. We have to fight for that water, land, and those animals that are out there. All through our stories, animals saved us. They had compassion for us. Man forgot. Many times man forgot to even say simple thank you to the Creator. And the Creator in many instances was going to end the world, but who saved us all in all those occasions were the animals. The eagle, the muskrat. Those are just some examples of how they were saved. How some of these instruments were given to us, the little boy water drum, to remind us how to be good. The pipe, Bolgan, Midewin, the eagle staff. Tools we use to remind us. When on many occasions we have to give thanks to those animals that saved us. The eagle. That's why we always say we always fall off that path and try to learn from our mistakes. Wise up on them and move on. Before I'm almost done here, so man, after man, Sema, Inisnan, Imigwan Sema, Chimigwach, Kinuego, on Ken Mago, I mean, thank you for all. Everything was passed down to me, what everything was named, all the gifts of this knowledge. Chimigwach, Kinuego, on Wind Ma, we Ken Mago. He just geked dat. And then he says, Nindash, dan nu way niet no swin. J'aime la dose, je scap quoi tot. You mean in the way? Mean the way is not winner. I mean the way is win no swin. So the creator, so he asks, Creator, I've named everything, but do I have a name? And the Geshem Nedol says, yes. It's one of your sacred gifts is your name I gave you. Anishinaabek. Ganjada, I'm sorry. Yinendan, I forgot. And at that moment, we just kinda not me noise all the animals came in that circle. Skintum, Mabanong to the east. Horshkesh. You on the good geet. You wine on this. Wow, I none. Me did you wine the last at Maba, Anishinaabek. They named them in that circle. You wine the last, wine the go. You're all named from that circle. That's what that means. Each of those directions. Me just wabanong. You wine not Maba, Anishinaabek. Oh! When a barjon. Me just Yinabit. Jaunong to the south. Me just gain on dollars it. You knew. Oh! When a barjon. Me just Nangabianong to the west. Oh! Non dollars seven. The buffalo says. When a barjon. Me just give it nong. The north. Mokko. Oh! When a barjon. Me just me know you much. So man got his name in all the four directions they yelled out his name. And that's why we say when we greet somebody, Bojo, because of that. People always said a long time ago, when a Bojo. Now it's been cut down to Bojo. That concludes the Christian story. Wiikwemkoong one duck. And Ken Malgom on the Kinaninda not so common. And Ken Malgom. I'd like to thank my elders that have passed this on to me. And they are Wilford Trudeau, Marie Eshbrook Trudeau, Eddie Benton, Jerry Tawojod, Edna Matwabi, Teresa Bisson, Alex Bisson, Mike Bisson, Jim Dumont, Charlie Nelson, and all of yous. There's so much information I got from my elders everywhere. Chimigocha numgeni no, yegi no, one day, himi shiknin the not so God. So I thank you for all passing these teachings to me, as I will do for others too. Namigoch.